Oh, hey, how you doing? It's Jen from You So Much, and today I want to talk about being productive. Now listen, I know probably doesn't look like I'm being productive right now. I'm hanging out, reading a magazine, having a good time, but you know what? I am being so productive. So what is the secret to being productive? Reading magazines? Hanging out, eating chocolate? Actually, yes, it is. Because play is productive. In fact, I have a whole t-shirt that my friend J-Ryze made for me. I'll put the link for that below if you want to order one of your own. But the point is that I love to play, and that's the thing. We all do. We all love to play. And if you can incorporate play into everything you're doing, you're going to be so much more productive. I'm going to give you the tips and the tricks, and you are not going to believe how much shit you get done. I'm not joking. And I'm so excited about this topic that I decided to make a whole playlist about it. So every week, I'm going to be giving productivity and play tips that will help you get shit done and have fun while you're doing it. So if you do follow me on Instagram, you know I've been talking about this, but you may have been confused because you may be, like I said earlier, like seeing me read a magazine, eating chocolate, talking about going to dance class, and you're thinking, what the hell is Jen doing? Like, she's just hanging around, like not doing anything. Yes, I go to dance class, and yes, I eat chocolate, and yes, I take a 10-minute break to read a magazine, but that doesn't mean I'm not being productive. I'm not saying that you should go play and not be productive, right? My saying is play is productive, because the thing is when you are finding ways to play in your day, whether it's while you're getting your shit done or in between, it will help you be so much more productive. So why? Why are these things all productive? Well, let's get into it. So have you ever noticed that when you get a whole new perspective, that all of a sudden things open up and new solutions came to mind that never came there before? It's one of the reasons why I think it's so great to like take a quick break and read a magazine, or go to a coffee shop, or just walk around the office, right? When you get a new perspective, you give your brain a chance to stop trying to focus on the same exact solution and open it up to all new possibilities. So one of my favorite examples that I like to give about this is, I remember one time I was working on a video script for a client. And my client only gave me a couple days to work on it, and he said, listen, it needs to be a long form video, so it was going to be around 2 minutes long, and he wanted to be shared on social media and wanted to go viral. He wanted to be so good that it was going to be like this epic video that they could use for long term. And he had a whole video crew set up for it and everything. And he said, you know, no pressure, but I really want it to be epic, right? And I was kind of freaking out about it because, first of all, if you know anything about videos going viral, there's just no predicting that, right? But what he was basically saying was, like, he really just wanted it to be super awesome. And so I was giving myself a lot of pressure, and I was like brainstorming what it was gonna be, and I would like had my head like down in the, you know, weeds of my video script. It was 5 o'clock the night before the script was due, and I had a concert to go to. And I thought to myself, I can either sit here and try and think my way through it, or I can just give myself a break and have a little playtime with some friends and go to a concert, and then I can come back to this with a fresh mind tomorrow morning. So I went to the concert with some friends, and it was a Blondie concert, by the way. Super fun, so good, she's so good, still like rocking it on the stage. And at the end of the concert, she said a few things that just really stuck with me, and I was really loving what she said, and I kept saying to my friends, oh my God, that is just so cool that she said that. I'm just loving that. And they were just kind of laughing at me. They were kind of making fun of me because I kept talking about it. And it didn't even dawn on me at the moment, but what she said was perfect theme for my video. And so the next morning I get up to do my video script, and all of a sudden it hit me. I'm like, oh my God, that thing that Blondie said on stage is the perfect thing for me to use as the main theme of this video. And it tied in everything that I had already worked in already, but it was just a little bit of a shift that made it so much better. And the video did turn out so good. I can't say it went viral or anything, but it did turn out really awesome, and my client was super impressed with me for doing it in such a quick time. And that never would have happened if I didn't go and play and give myself that fresh perspective to be able to solve the problem. So So the other thing that play does is it gives your brain a break, right? Because sometimes when you're sitting down and you're focused on one task for a really long period of time, you just want to kick yourself in the head, right? You can't just overthink things sometimes. You just need to give your brain a rest. So some of the things that I always suggest is just get up and get a glass of water, right? Or go to a coffee shop. Or like I was saying earlier, read a magazine or put on some music and give yourself a dance break. Get up and do 20 squats, you know? Like it doesn't have to be complicated, but just giving your brain a rest from that task that you're overdoing. Your brain is a muscle too, so don't overload it. Give it a break just like you would give your muscles a break at the gym, and then you can get back at it. And what's also really awesome is that you don't always have to necessarily just give yourself a break, right? Playtime doesn't have to be like in between your normal tasks. Play can be part of what you're doing. If you can incorporate fun into everything you're doing, then it's even better. And we'll talk about that in just a second. So what are some things you can do to make sure you have play in your life so you can be more productive? Well, I think one of the first things that's the most important thing you can do is to really be aware of what lights you up and what drains you, right? And so literally sit down and make a list. What are the things that really make you so excited and give you so much energy and light you up throughout the day? And what are those things that really drain you and really pull you down? And also be aware too of like the things that really light you up. Sometimes you need some other things to help keep you going with those things, right? So like for me, for example, with dance, I could dance all day, but I would need some water, I would need some food, I would need some other things to help me keep dancing. Yes, I could keep dancing all day, but I couldn't just keep dancing without some kind of a break, right? So it's good to understand what it is that you need to help keep being able to do those things that really light you up and give you energy and make you so excited. So I challenge you, as soon as this video is over, sit down and make a list of the things that light you up and the things that drain you. So some of the things that are on my list, for example, are dance. I could, like I said earlier, I could dance all day. Drinking water, like whether I'm dancing or not, drinking water is always one of those things that gives me energy, and I don't always think about it. So that's another reason why this list is so important, because it will remind you of those things you can do when you need to get a little energy. The other thing that really lights me up is conversation. I love having conversations with people, and I love doing videos, right? So these are some of the things that are on my list. Some of the things that drain me are if I'm sitting down for too long. So when I'm writing, for example, like I love to write, but if I'm sitting down writing for too long, it's not good. So what are some ways I can avoid that, right? Maybe I can get a stand-up desk, or maybe I just incorporate more breaks in between, that kind of thing, right? And so that's why having this list is so important, because you can go back and reference it later. But there's probably going to be some things that you have to do that you just can't outsource, right? For whatever reason, maybe you're early in your business and you have to do a little bit of the work before you can hire someone else. Or maybe you have a job and you basically have to do this thing. It's part of your tasks that your boss is expecting of you, right? So how can you take some of those things that you don't enjoy so much, that don't feel playful to you, and how can you add play to them? So it can be simple things like going and getting a latte, eating some chocolate while you're doing it, right? Or if you're like entering a bunch of numbers into a spreadsheet, maybe you can watch a Netflix show while you're doing that. So figure out ways you can incorporate play and fun into what you're doing. That's always a really great way to do it too. And then also think about that list that you made of all the things that you really love doing. So how can you take some of those things and incorporate them into the things that are on the other side of the list of that you don't enjoy, the things that drain you? So for example, for me, I really never take the time to sit down and write a calendar out because I'm really not a good planner. I love to actually have a plan and follow it once it's all set up for me. I love that, but taking the time to actually sit down and do it, I hardly ever do it. So when I decide to do it, I want to make it fun. So for example, I love colored Post-it notes. I love colored pens and stickies. And so instead of like trying to I'll write it out into my calendar on Google, I make it fun by incorporating play into what I'm doing. And what I also love about the Post-it notes is that because I also really love to have a flexible schedule, then I can move the Post-it notes around, and it also supports me being playful in a whole nother way, right? Another thing that I really love to do, like I said earlier, is do videos. So instead of just typing out emails to my clients or maybe even DMs on Instagram, perhaps I can utilize video instead, because I love video. So why wouldn't I use that instead, right? So think about those things that you really love doing and how can you incorporate it into the things that you don't love as much, but you kind of have to do them anyway. And if you absolutely still cannot find a way to make something fun, which by the way, I have a really hard time believing, because sometimes it just takes a mental shift in your head that this is fun, or to find gratitude for whatever it is you have to do. Remember, we never really have to do anything. We're choosing to do it, even if it's a job. And that means we chose to take that job and we chose to do these tasks. And there are things to be grateful for about that job, right? Whether it's a great paycheck or benefits, or that it helps put your kids through college, or whatever it is, right? So if you have a really hard time even finding some little morsel of like play in it somehow, then I really recommend that you figure out ways to do more of the stuff that you can incorporate play into, and less of the stuff that you can't. So get that shit done faster, like use the Pomodoro technique, or like there's a multitude of other things that we'll talk about on this series, but seriously, like figure out a way to do less and less of it, even if you're just hiring someone like an assistant or a maid or whatever it is, like at the minimum, like find a way to start affording it just a little bit, like 1 hour a week if you like have to hire somebody, right? Or do those things yourself as quick as possible, and then move on to the stuff that you could incorporate play into. And that leads me to my final point, which is, seriously, if you are really hating it, like if you're in a job that you really, really absolutely hate and it's making you miserable, like you hate your job, you hate your boss, you hate your colleagues, whatever it is, then figure out a way to get the F out. Because let me tell you, that some things are not solvable if you can't have play into it, right? If you're not finding a way to have a play day, if you're not having fun, then it's going to affect your work. People don't want to be around you. You're not going to be doing as good of a job because you're not using those creative juices. You're not using your brain in a variety of ways, and you'll probably end up getting a bad reputation, and you're not going to get a promotion. You're not going to go any further in that job or career, whether you're self-employed or it's a job. Like if you're miserable, get the F out. It's not doing you any good. It's probably affecting your health too. So figure out as soon as possible how you can have more play days, and that might mean that your days are going to look completely different. So seriously think about it, because if you're not having fun, you're actually not really being productive. And one more thing, you knew I was going to say this, of course, I have to have one more final note. And what it is to have chocolate for breakfast. That's right, you knew I was going to say it. Any of you who watch my channel on the regular, this particular chocolate, it's so good. It is by Joe's Chocolates out of Seattle. Has coffee actually in the chocolate. I'm having that this morning with a little green tea. So I've got a lot of extra energy for the day. So good and fun. And it's adding play to my day, right? And so for any of you out there who have not watched my channel on the regular and don't know what I'm talking about, what I'm talking about is to start your day right. So it doesn't have to be chocolate literally, although for you chocolate lovers out there, you know there's so many benefits for eating chocolate first thing in the morning, but we won't get into that right now. What we will get into though is that you have to have joy first thing in the morning, because when you have joy first thing in your morning, it just spreads throughout your entire day, right? So whether that's eating chocolate or taking a bath and reading a book or dancing naked in the bathroom, I've done it before, no judgment. I think it's so fun and awesome. And so seriously, when you do that, then you'll just glow for the rest of the day. And it really, what it does is it triggers your brain, because then you'll start looking for joy in everything you do. You'll be so joyous that other people will see that in you, and then they'll be joyful back, and it creates this whole cycle of joy. And you know what I'm talking about, because you've been around people who are miserable, right? And then they make everything else around them miserable. So don't be one of those people. Have joy first thing in the day, and then figure out how to have that joy and play in everything that you're doing. And if you do that, I guarantee you will be more productive. There's no question about it. So that's what I'm talking about when I say play is productive. And I challenge any of you out there, any of you, to tell me that play is not productive. If you have any thoughts about that, leave it in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear any thoughts about how you can make your day more playful. And if you have any ideas about productivity or any of that, I'd love to know too, because this is, like I said, it's going to be a series on my channel. Every single week I'm going to be talking about this. So let me know in the comments below what you think. And if you haven't subscribed, of course, you got to subscribe to my channel. So please subscribe. And I so appreciate you being here. And we'll see you guys next time. Remember, you're never too much. And you can never have too much play. or chocolate. I don't think. I haven't figured that out yet. Okay, bye.